Hello and welcome to another F1 Manager video. Up to this point, the only videos I've made on this great game have revolved around my Latifi to Glory series, but now it's time to change that. So in this video, we are going to be experimenting what would happen to the grid and F1 if Gasly was to move to Alpine. Obviously, he is signed with Tauri for one more year, but after seeing all that happened with Alpine in the summer, he probably wishes he didn't sign that contract. Anyway, it could still happen. Perez had a contract in 2020, 3-year contract I'm pretty sure, and he still got booted out, so anything's possible. But at this current moment, Ocon does not have a confirmed teammate. So let's see how it would go if he were to move to Alpine in F1 Manager 2022. Obviously, the first thing we need to do is go and sign Gasly. We've got 37 mil, so that's going to be our first investment. Oh yeah, we need to get rid of Oscar Piastri as well. He's very, very expensive, so I've already tried and I failed. So I think we're going to have to put this up to 8 mil. I just want to get him over the line, to be honest. What is this? Why is this so difficult to get? Yes, we got him. Jesus Christ, man. Bloody hell, Gasly, you're a picky driver. Well, he's here. Bring in their new reserve driver in real life as well, I'm pretty sure. And boom, good. Okay, so I'll do a bit of development off camera and then we'll get straight to Bahrain. It's an alright car. It's definitely the 5th best car on the grid. We've got 2 big projects coming along. So when we get those in the car, it's going to greatly improve our straight line speed and our low speed, medium speed and high speed cornering. So at the end of qualifying, it's pretty disappointing. Ocon got knocked out in Q2. He's going to start 13th and Gasly is in 8th. So a pretty meh first race. Ocon crashed with Magnussen, got a penalty and that screwed his strategy over, while Gasly stayed in a decent 9th for the majority of the race. Ocon got a disappointing performance and justified. Got knocked out in qualifying. Not really a good first weekend. So a pretty decent race. Gasly made some moves. Ocon also made up a few positions as well. The strategies worked well and Gasly finished in P7 with Ocon in 9th. Pretty decent weekend sees us move into 5th in the Constructors as well. So good races from both our drivers. Now on to Australia. A very good race with Gasly in 6th and Ocon in 8th. This race means we have gone 3 points clear of Alfa Romeo. They're going to be our closest competitors this season. 1,000 points for Gasly, only 600 for Ocon. Very, very good weekend. On to Imola. Okay, we've got a point with Ocon. We'll put it into braking, get the pace up because his consistency is very good. And with Gasly, we will put that into reactions. So another decent race, 7th for Gasly and 9th for Ocon. We've outscored Alfa Romeo again. Zhou made a mistake. Ocon had a very good strategy. His tyre saving skills are very, very good. So now we're 7 points clear of Alfa Romeo and in better form. So these are the points. On to Miami. So a solid race with Gasly 8th and Ocon 9th. Pierre was on an aggressive strategy, so we did get Ocon to do a little bit of holding up, and it worked, to be fair. Verstappen binned it and caused a VSC the lap after we pitted, so we could have potentially gotten a higher position if we had gotten a bit luckier. But more points on the board, and we stay in 4th. These are the points of our 2 drivers. Now, on to the next one. Gasly got wing damage in this race from Russell going wide and cutting back onto the track. Luckily it was minor, so we didn't lose that much time, and then after the pit stops, Gasly made a mistake and dropped loads of positions. But even with all of this, we still got 6th and 7th because of the one-stop strategy working very well. So that's a big chunk of points. We have outscored Alpha by 12 points and now we're 19 points clear. Here are the points. On to the next one. We're just going to keep upgrading Gasly's reactions until he's equal with cornering, and then we'll get those into the 90s. Underfloor takes so long, but it is here. So, a pretty disappointing race. I think our first pointless race. So, maybe that's just our car is very bad and very slow speed circuits. But although Bottas got 8 points, we are still 11 points clear in the Constructors. Here are the points. Obviously not going to be very high. It was just a very dull weekend. And yeah, on to Baku. Okay, let's go through how the hell this panned out. So we had a safety car in lap 3 because Perez binned it. And then we got lucky with a VSC for Ocon, and then another safety car later made sure Ocon could pit again for fresh tyres. That's why he's on a 2-stop. Then on fresher tyres by about 10%, Gasly was fighting for the win, and then Verstappen binned it after he got overtaken. And then Ocon, because he's on the fresher tyres, was on for a podium, and probably there was another 1 or 2 laps would have got it. But as you can see from the time, Gasly went clear on the restart, didn't make a single mistake for the whole race, and got a win. So, Gasly's moved up 2 positions in the drivers, and in the constructors we've gone very, very clear of Alpha. Okay, I don't know how Gasly hasn't got more than 600 points. What? Oh, yeah, because they both finished higher than their clauses. Okay. Once again, we just had better tyres than Sainz, and we won. Ocon could have won. I think he actually would have won, but he's spun. He ruined it all, and Gasly has won another race. Man, we are literally fighting with Mercedes for third. Alpha are nowhere near us. We're actually fighting for third in the constructors. Boom. Gasly has changed everything. Gasly's got 1.1k. Ocon 600 points. That was a ridiculous race. He literally won it on the last corner as well. Okay, so basically what happened in that race was a madness. So we started in P3 because of Verstappen having a engine penalty, I guess, and basically led the race. He during the pit stops, he went ahead of Leclerc, had 10% more tire percentage on Leclerc, led the race comfortably. And then last lap, last corner, 4 seconds clear of Verstappen, he locked up. His first major mistake. He was going to get his 3rd win in a row, which is really annoying because I would have really loved to have seen that, but it's fine. 2nd is still incredible, but he would have won. He would have won if he just didn't lock up. He's 5th in the drivers now, and we are so close to Mercedes. Holy. This team is incredible. Oh man, what could have been? What could have been? Ocon's an 86 rated now. Still getting absolutely outclassed by Gasly. We are losing a lot of money over paying Gasly because he keeps finishing in the top 5. He keeps finishing in 2nd or 1st. It's crazy. His pace is ridiculous. He was battling with Verstappen for most of that race. Ocon as well. He just had more pace than the Ferraris, even on older tyres, so it just doesn't really make any sense. We have finally moved up into 3rd, and the Mercedes have fallen off completely. Alpha are nowhere near, and we're over 100 points clear of them. So, yeah, on to Red Bull. Oh my god, that is a lot of race points, Jesus. Ocon probably deserves more though. So, no podium this time, but honestly, we were keeping tabs with the top 2 teams, and even though Gasly spun and Ocon went wide, we still finished in 5th and 6th. We're still very, very far ahead of Mercedes. They are getting worse. We've got to pay up again because, yeah, they got 5th and 6th, which is both their bonus clause. Okay, so overall, just another really solid race. Also, Hamilton was 20 plus seconds behind Ocon, which is crazy to show how much we've improved. Obviously, we're clear. We can't really catch up to Red Bull. We're a bit too far away. But we have got more upgraded parts coming in for the next race, I'm pretty sure. So, on the up. We are on the up. We're doing bits. As the development point, love that. Ocon, very, very good tyre whisperer, I have to say. Honestly, I don't know how that's happened again. This is ridiculous. Also, how was he 1.3 seconds a lap quicker than Verstappen? Anyway, so Gasly is now ahead of Perez in the standings. Alpine are now 51 points ahead of Mercedes. Okay, I'll run you through what happened. So basically, lap 2, Ocon makes a mistake, hits the wall, and I had to retire him pretty much. And then, later on, we make a pit stop, we overcut Leclerc, Perez and Sainz, who were all fighting each other. We overcut them, so he gets 922 points. Oh god, yeah, 337. He didn't really go for that long. We did it again. Okay, let me explain to you what the hell happened. So, we started 1-2, Gasly on pole, Ocon in second. In the early laps, Ocon spun out, went to the back of the grid, then clawed his way back up to 14th, and then Gasly binned it at turn 1. Then the safety car helped him get back into position. He got back into around 8th or something, and then there was another safety car because Latifi just completely torpedoed Vettel. He was in top 4 at this point. He was battling a little bit, probably just for the podium, and then the safety car brought him really close to Sainz, and then he battled with Sainz on the final laps to try and win the race, and he did it. He bloody won. So now both of our drivers have won a race, and he got the fastest lap. He's moved up a position as well, overtaken Bottas, and that's incredible. Gasly's DNF actually helped us. So now we're even further clear of Mercedes, and we just aren't having any bad races. This is our points. Gasly obviously low. Yeah, sort of a bit after the first pit stops. Okay, so our first double podium of the year. We could have got the win. Gasly was so close. 2.5 tenths away, but double podium, we take that. It was a wet race. We absolutely nailed the time to go on to the wet tyres, and to be honest, Pierre Gasly is getting very close to Carlos Sainz in the driver's standings. What is this? Okay, so 630 points, development point, love that. Ocon did do very well as well. Let's go, Gasly's 85 rated now. Bloody hell, he's driving like a 95 rated, to be honest. Okay, so that was an absolutely crazy race. Wow, so basically, Albon crashed because Latifi punted him. Then caused a safety car. Then Vettel retired, caused a safety car. Then Ricciardo retired, caused a safety car. Then Bottas retired, caused a safety car. And Gasly did the same and caused a safety car. 5 safety cars, and Ocon got into 5th. And Gasly was in the lead by about 4 seconds, and he binned it. Potential to go clear of Perez as well. It was very annoying, but still, we are a million miles ahead of Mercedes, and we will not be losing 3rd place in the Constructors, but overall, it's very annoying because he was having a really good race. So that was a good damage limitation drive because Gasly was in 3rd. I mean, he was in 1st, but Verstappen and Perez made an extra pit stop to catch up to him, got overtaken near the end, and then made a mistake, and then stayed out for the last 2 laps with a broken front wing. Ocon also made a mistake, but to be honest, we had no pace, and we still finished 3rd, because everyone around us made mistakes. Gasly, I don't know when he's going to get his next point. Ocon, I have not been impressed with Ocon this season, I have to say. He has not been anything special. Honestly, Ferrari should be hiring me as their new team principal because I have just pulled off a masterclass. Let me run you through it. Gasly was running in 5th. Ocon, I put him on a really weird strategy. He only did like he was going to do 1 stop and it was going to be terrible. So he was down in 9th. Then a safety car comes out. He pits for fresh softs and boom, he goes from 9th. Jumps up to 7th on the restart, and then over the next about 4 laps overtook everyone and won on the last lap. Madness, absolute madness. I am a genius, and Alpine are clear. Ocon is nearly ahead of Hamilton, and Gasly is nearly ahead of Perez. It's insane. I am so good at this game. Boom, development points for both of them. Okay, so that was probably the weirdest race I've ever done on this game. If you can notice, it says 1 lap next to Pierre Gasly's name, and then all the way down. Basically what happened was, on the first lap, Alonso caused a red flag, and then on the red flag restart, everyone down from Lewis Hamilton was 1 lap down. And because this game is so special and you can't unlap yourself on this game, they all got stuck behind him. So they might have more pace, but as soon as the car would overtake, they'd have to let him go again. So there was just a massive train of cars that pitted under that red flag on really old tyres, and they all pitted right at the end. But it's just a massive train. That was the weirdest thing I've ever done in my life, or I've ever seen in my life. Ocon won though. which is very nice. He's now in 6th. He's moved ahead of Hamilton. And we're only 168 points away from Red Bull. So, yeah, very cool. Gasly's only 2 points off Perez. That's the aim, to get him ahead of Perez by the end of the season. But, I mean, 4th is still really good. Strategy still worked. And Ocon just, yeah, did his own race. He was literally fighting Bottas. And he couldn't even fight Hamilton because Hamilton just lost so much time defending from the lap cars that couldn't even overtake. Okay, this game still has many bugs in it. Gasly, Jesus Christ. He made a shit ton of overtakes, I'm pretty sure. How many did... 55 overtakes. Wow, okay. It's finally happened. With 1 race to go, we finally done a 1-2. What a race. Gasly made like 4 mistakes, but he still came first. And Ocon spun, but still came first. Goes to show just how good this car is. He's re-overtaken Perez. This is the point 749 for Pierre. Gets the development point. Ocon did very well as well. Only 604. So, that was a very frustrating race for old Pierre. So basically, Zhou binned it at the hairpin, caused the safety car. That helped Gasly out a lot. I pitted Ocon. I think I pitted Gasly as well on that. And then, right when I was about to pit, I think I pressed to go pit. It didn't pit under the next safety car, which was caused by Vettel crashing at the same place. So, Ocon had pitted under that safety car, and Gasly had stayed out because I thought I had told him to come into the box, but he didn't. Then nothing really happened for the next sort of 20 laps, and then another safety car happened, and then Verstappen was leading from Gasly, and Verstappen couldn't handle the pressure and he binned it into turn 1. So then another safety car, and that meant I couldn't pit Gasly. So I had to keep him out on really old tyres. And Ocon, who had already pitted before, charged through the pack and won. He even made a mistake, then made the time back up and won. Constructors, we were so clear of Mercedes, it's ridiculous. Ocon had an insane second half of the season. He was terrible in the first half, making mistakes, awful qualifying, but he has been incredible. Ocon deserved 1.1k. That's going to be the last development point. Okay, so it's time to look at the final statistics. Ferrari won from Red Bull, 53-point lead, and we were another 128 points back. So it's time to see what would happen if Pierre Gasly joined Alpine. So what we would get is Pierre Gasly getting 4 wins, 8 podiums, 5 fastest laps, and a pole position. There you go, you have your answer. Alpine, sign me up. I've recruited your new driver. You don't have a person in there. I have recruited your new driver, Pierre Gasly. He's French as well. I know him and Ocon don't get along well, but it's 2 Frenchies in a French team. Come on, how can you refuse that? You know, he was close to Carlos as well. Carlos got 0 wins. Gasly got 4. He was incredible. And this car was so good. It developed so quickly. And it became like probably as good as the Ferrari. Probably better. I'm going to check that afterwards. But then we go to Gasly's teammate, Esteban Ocon. 4 wins, 6 podiums, 3 fastest laps, and 0 poles. Ocon was amazing in this season. Only second half though, because his first half was pretty bad. When the car wasn't quite right, he wasn't there. Pierre Gasly, he extracted everything out of this car. And in the constructors, from signing Gasly, you finished 3rd. Alpine, if you want a bit more money in your back pocket, come on. Listen to my calls. Get Pierre Gasly in your 2nd seat. Honestly, this has been so much fun to do. I've absolutely loved just developing this car and just making it insane, and also just trying something different. Pierre Gasly should go to Alpine. And if you need a good driver in your career modes, get Pierre Gasly, because his pace stats are ridiculous and that is what gets you results. But that's going to be all from me today. As always, if you've made it this far, I appreciate it so much. But for now, goodbye.